दोस्तों ये वीडियो आपके लिए बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग होने वाला है और आपको इस वीडियो से बहुत कुछ सीखने को, बहुत नॉलेज भी मिलने वाला है। उसकी वजह ये है कि क्योंकि इस वीडियो में अब मैं आपको मिलाने वाला हूँ टाटा एआईजी लाइफ इंश्योरेंस कंपनी के एक्स मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर। और इंटरेस्ट इसलिए आने वाला है क्योंकि ये एक ब्रिटिश नागरिक है। इनसे कैसे ये इंडिया में आते हैं, टाटा एआईजी लाइफ इंश्योरेंस कंपनी में एमडी बनते हैं, और आज की तारीख में ये क्या कर रहे हैं, कैसे उन्होंने इतने सारे लोगों को मैनेज किया। उस वक्त टाटा एआईजी लाइफ इंश्योरेंस में आए थे जब लाइफ इंश्योरेंस इंडिया में प्राइवेट लाइफ इंश्योरेंस जस्ट चालू ही हुआ था। तो कैसे उन्होंने इंश्योरेंस में एक बेस को क्रिएट किया, उसके बारे में समझने की कोशिश करते हैं। मैनेजमेंट को कैसे उन्होंने किया इंडिया के अंदर, इस चीज़ को समझने की कोशिश करते हैं। और आज की तारीख में वो क्या कर रहे हैं इसको समझने की कोशिश करते हैं। इनका नाम है मिस्टर इयन वॉट्स। चलिए मिलते हैं मिस्टर इयन वॉट्स से और कुछ सीखने की कोशिश करते हैं। Hi Ian, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Ranjit. Great to see you. Thank you.
So Ian, I want to know from you is that how did you came into the insurance industry and how you landed in Tata AIA Life Insurance in India?
Well, good first question. Thank you. So I began my career working in a bank where I lived, and within the bank.
Where in UK?
In the UK, yeah.
UK.
I was in the middle of the UK.
Okay.
I live very near to the Trent Bridge cricket ground, which I'm sure your viewers will know. So my first job was in a bank.
Okay.
This bank was very focused on customer needs and financial services needs and offered insurance. So I became an insurance advisor in the bank.
In the bank only?
Yes.
Okay.
So I sort of started really in bank assurance in my career. Then I moved to the Middle East with a broker, and I was in the Middle East for 8 years.
Okay.
Doing insurance and financial services and financial planning across the Gulf, Dubai, Saudi, Qatar, Bahrain, where I met my wife. And then I went to Hong Kong with AIA in 2000.
Okay.
And AIA was very excited about the opportunity in India to be one of the first foreign companies as India was opening up the insurance section. Hopefully I'm slow enough, right? So I was traveling every 2 weeks from Hong Kong to India to help set up the team with Tata AIA, develop the products, and 2 years later, they offered me the chance to be a CEO in India for the first time.
Great.
I knew the company because I'd been party to the establishment, and I knew what the opportunity was because I was in that project team, and I was very excited to go to India. And then I went, on Friday they offered me the opportunity, and on Monday I flew to India and I was the CEO, first time. I knew India before working with AIA because when I was an insurance agent with the bank back in the UK, my first convention was to India.
Okay.
India, Nepal and to Goa.
Okay.
So I visited India as a sales incentive, and then I ended up with Tata AIG Life as a CEO in 2002.
Superb. So in 2002,
Yes.
you got an opportunity to work in India as a CEO of Tata AIA Life Insurance Company.
Yes.
But at that time in 2002, the private life insurance company actually opened in India.
Yes.
So it was a very challenging market at that point of time.
Yes.
So what were your challenges at that point of time in setting up the insurance business?
Right.
And now after 20 years, the challenges has become different because the insurance business has got set up. So what do you think? So what were the challenges at that point of time, and how the challenges has become different after 20 years?
That's another great question. Thank you. So if we go back to 2002, I was fortunate in some ways because at that time in India, the insurance sector was seen as the sunshine sector for careers. Previously, it had been the private banking sector. So I was able to secure fantastic, skilled resources in India, dynamic executives So we were able to build a fantastic team of Indian executives from retail banking, from other professional sectors, who were very keen to join the insurance sector. So we could find very good talent. But I'm a real passionate believer in learning and development and training talent. So we were very focused on developing the skills and knowledge and understanding of all our executives in the insurance space. So we had a great team. They understood India really, really well. They understood retail very well, but they didn't understand the insurance. So I made sure that we had the insurance learning, the insurance knowledge from both AIA, from my own experience, and from outside education. Then we worked really closely as a strong team. I believe that in the insurance industry, or in fact any industry, but certainly my success then, teamwork gets great results. So we were a very connected team, very engaged team, and we were able to build an outstanding foundation of an insurance company for Tata AIA Life. Challenges were the scale of India, so we had to have lots of resource all over the country. Challenges were sharing the knowledge across 3,000-4,000 staff and 30,000 agents. So just the scale of the size of the business, you had to have very good structures, very good management, but we had a great leadership team that instilled great philosophy with their own teams. We had a very, very well-known and trusted Indian brand partner, the Tata Group.
Tata, yeah.
Everywhere in India that I've had the pleasure of going, everywhere, everybody knows Tata and they feel very proud of that name. And then we had AIG and AIA, which brought the insurance expertise, the distribution expertise, and the really understanding of how to build and run an insurance company. So between the two partnerships, we were able to build a very successful business.
Ian, one thing, when I'm sitting with you, one thing immediately comes in my mind.
Yeah.
Whenever we Indian see Gora person, British man, we get attracted to that person. But at the same time, you have one challenge also, that Indians, they don't understand your accent also.
Right.
So how easy and how difficult it is to manage Indian people who are working under you?
Because of the language.
Because of the language,
yeah.
And at the same time, you have one positive point also, that people want to be with you because
Thank you.
A foreign person.
Kind.
Yeah.
Well, I think the balance there is the strong leadership team that I was very fortunate to work with and have. They would help with communication messages. So I've been all over India, and it's a great place to be. But very often I have somebody with me that can help make sure that those cultural messages or the translation works. I remember there's a big sales convention with one of our biggest distribution partners, who's still a corporate agent today, in Calcutta. It was in the football stadium in Calcutta, right? I'm sure your viewers know that. It seats 75,000 people. And this was an annual incentive. And I learnt my first 3 lines in Bengali.
Okay.
It took me a long time. Don't ask me, I can't remember them. It took me a long time to practice. But my opening remarks were in Bengali, which I think everybody understood. And then the English that I said was translated. So I do feel that if you're with people and you're clear, the communication I have is okay. But I'm fortunate to have good people in my team that were always able to make sure that the key messages were delivered.
So you have managed people when you were in Gulf, when you
Yes.
managed people in the different part of the world, wherever you have worked in India also you managed people. How many years were you there in India? You came in 2000, I think.
2000 and left at the end of 2006, so 4 years.
2000 till 2006 you were in India.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you tell us the secret of managing people?
Well, there's lots of books been written.
Correct.
There's lots of videos. There's lots of coaches.
Correct.
So where I feel and how I like to manage people is to be very transparent and honest and open, to engage people and understand and listen to their views, and then really be honest and agree with them what they're going to do, and then ensure that what they say they're going to do is followed up and measured. So I think it's really important when you're setting a strategy. So when we were setting a strategy, for example, at Tata AIA Life, we would go to an off-site location. We would have an extremely engaging, thought-provoking 2 days together. The owners of their various tasks and projects would present those projects. We would agree what they were going to do, so it was a collaborative, engaging approach, and then off we go. And then my job is to make sure they have the resource, they have the understanding, they have the knowledge to deliver. And usually, if you help people, and usually if they agree to what they're going to do and they're passionate and they have a desire, they succeed. So that's my philosophy everywhere. In different cultures, I've found staff and executives are not as open as they are in India. They're very open, very keen to share views and experience, but the same philosophy I think applies. And India has fantastic talent that really understands its market. I understand how to work with and manage people, and I don't argue that I know India better than them, I don't. So I think the collaboration approach was where the success happened. And that team that I met in India, you asked me in your second question, 20 years later, what are the challenges, but we'll come to that. I'm still very, very close to that team. We became a really strong connection, very close friends. They've all been successful in their careers. Most have remained in insurance or are in insurance. So it was a very special time in my life as the CEO here, very special time.
Perfect. So you spent almost around 4 years to manage Indian insurance advisors and also the employees in Tata AIA Life Insurance. And you also have seen insurance advisors in Gulf and in Europe and other part of Asia. So what do you think? What are the strengths of Indian insurance agent, and at the same time, what are the weaknesses of Indian insurance advisors?
I think when anybody joins as an insurance advisor, they don't necessarily choose to be a commission-based insurance advisor. It's not something many people choose to get into, but they get into it and fall in love with it. So I think that the long-term success of successful advisors is unknown in any other industry. And India has a great number of really successful, really entrepreneurial advisors. And so the examples of success are in India as they are in Southeast Asia, the Middle East, the US. But where India is not succeeding is it's not building enough successful advisors. There's not enough advisors. The penetration rates in India have a lot more room to grow. So there's huge potential in the insurance industry in India for the growth, for advisors to become better at their job, to have more advisors in their teams. So the opportunity here is fantastic still. So the characteristics of successful advisors are the same here in India as they are in many other markets, but I think India needs to build far more of them given the size of the country and the size of the economy.
Perfect. So after 2004, 2006, were you in the life insurance industry, or you started something different?
No.
What you did till date?
Okay. So I then moved to China for AIA China because that business for AIA was not growing very well. It was a more challenging assignment because there was 8 separate branch businesses that were not connected as one family, which we had in India. So because of my success in India, AIG asked me to move to China. So I spent 2.5 years in China transforming the business there. Then I moved to work for ACE Group in the US as they were strategically expanding their life insurance business. Still looked at coming to India with ACE, and they didn't come, but I stayed close to India then. And then after with ACE, there was a financial crisis, which we're all aware of. I then joined
India 2008,
in the year 2008, right? A lot of stop of expansion. I think the world had to pause. So then I decided then to join Limra Loma as the head of their international business for 7 years, where we're bringing expertise and consulting advice to 600 insurance companies across Asia, Latin America. So bringing advisory services and expertise to those companies. So I've been in the insurance space ever since I left India. I'm still in the insurance space. And to bring everybody up to date, I now have my own consulting, learning and development business. And I'm very focused on establishing our presence here in India, because the opportunity is, I think, unique anywhere in the world. India's economy is growing and set to grow very strong. India's come well out of the pandemic, but now Indian society sees more value in life insurance and health insurance. We talked briefly about the penetration rates of India. They're 3.5% of the population for life. It should be more like 6%. So there's a lot of positive changes in regulations to encourage the insurance sector to grow. So I think there's a really exciting opportunity again here in India, which is why I'm often here with my current business.
So this learning platform is only for the insurance advisors in the world, or it's for other professional people also?
Right. The learning and expertise that my team and I bring in my company and we have is very focused around insurance and financial services and banks, because it's a big sector anyway. And it covers skills for advisors, it covers skills for their managers, it covers leadership. Because in any insurance distribution business, there's an advisor, but they started because the manager hired them. And they got off the ground because the manager asked them to get off the ground. I mean, sometimes they become independent, they don't need a manager then, but everybody starts because somebody brings them into the industry. So we can help these managers and leaders become better at leadership. And then there are executive programs we have to understand the agency business. So we really do focus on how to become a successful insurance advisor, how to become a successful insurance manager of advisors, or how can be a successful leader of managers in the agency, in the bank assurance, or in the financial services space.
So you are focusing, which all countries you are focusing for expanding your business?
Primarily Asia, because Asia still is dominated by agent distribution. In the UK now, where I live, there's no real agency system. We have a very strong social network, so if you're sick you go to hospital, if you're unemployed you get benefits, right? But if you look at India, there are 2 million advisors, 2 million agents, right? If you look at China, there's 6 million, and Asian culture still require an advice from an advisor about their insurance and financial services needs. It's very strong. The economies are growing in Asia, so I'm primarily focused Asia and India and Southeast Asia.
So what are your action plan? What is your target in India in terms of your business?
Yeah.
And what is your action plan?
Right. So if you look at India, its scale and the opportunity, it's where we want to plant and have a business here. So the target for this year, obviously it's the tax year end, but during this year we're going to have open a company here, and we plan to be localized to help all the opportunity in the insurance space. I think the Indian market demands local expertise, local delivery of curriculum and programs. So we're bringing our global curriculum expertise and knowledge, but we're going to localize that to be here in India to support the large opportunity in India, both through consulting, both with advisory, with training rooms in class, and importantly, digital sort of consistent learning. So we're bringing a localized specialist business to India based on our global experience. And then in other markets, we're still focused with our partnerships. But India is a very core focus for us to be permanently established with a local business offering the global expertise that we have.
Perfect. So Ian, our audience will definitely be very happy to see you, because many people will get to know that you started the Tata AIA life insurance business in India.
Yeah.
You are the base, and there are many insurance agents maybe have joined newly in Tata AIA, and they are not aware about you.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy. I got an opportunity to talk, in talking with you, knowing about you, your skills. Thank you very much, Ian, for giving your time.
I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Pleasure. Thank you.
BITV YouTube चैनल पर सब्सक्राइब करिए, बेल आइकन दबाएं।